Yo guys, welcome. My name is Armand, and in today's video we're gonna go over how to create your meal plan for fat loss. And I'm also gonna go over some mistakes you should avoid while following it. Let's go. Yo, by the way, I've been coaching people for the past 14 years, mainly to lose fat and to build muscle. So in today's video, I'm gonna keep it as simple as possible for you so that way you can stay consistent in the long run, okay? Because that's what's most important, for you to actually create a plan that fits you, but also to stick with it, because what needs to happen is that you need to be in a calorie deficit for a period of time. All right, because that's how you're gonna get there. You can't be in a calorie deficit for 2 days, 3 days and expect results, right? You need to make sure that you're gonna come up with something that you can follow consistently for weeks and months to come. Yo, the first thing that you're going to need to understand is calories in versus calories out. And I'm sure you've heard this like a million times. But you need to be in a calorie deficit, okay? So you're gonna need to eat fewer calories than you are burning, all right? So if you're eating too many calories, it's gonna put you in a surplus and you're gonna gain weight, you're gonna store fat, okay? So we need to put you in a calorie deficit. So how are we gonna do that? Let's break it down. Yo, the first thing that we're gonna need to do is figure out your calorie intake. So what you're gonna do is go to tdeecalculator.net, and it's gonna ask you for your information. It's gonna ask you for your age, how much you weigh, how active you are, and then it's gonna give you your maintenance calories. And what I want you to do with that number is do a 10 to 20% reduction. Personally, what I would do is start off as high as possible as far as calories. So start off at 10% and then see how your body responds to that. Because at the end of the day, you want to keep the calories as high as possible, as long as possible, and still lose fat and still lose weight, because it'll give you more room to play with as you go through, this phase of losing fat. All right, let's break down your macros. So when it comes to a fat loss plan, calories are gonna be the most important, and then right under that is gonna be protein. So when it comes to protein, let's just keep it as simple as possible. Just do a gram per pound. So let's say you weigh 180 pounds, start off with 180 grams of protein. But let's say you weigh 300 pounds. 300 grams of protein is a ton, okay? So in this situation, I would just go goal weight. So let's say your goal weight is 200 pounds. I would just do 200 grams of protein. Carbs and fat, you can kind of go off of preference here. Personally, I like to keep my fat intake a little higher just because of all the health benefits it provides. You're talking about increasing your test levels. You're talking about good blood work. And on top of it, it's also another source of energy. So I like to keep my fat intake, again, a little higher. So I go about 0.23 to 0.46 times your body weight, and then the rest of your calories would just be carbs, and that would be a good starting point for your carbs and fat. So now that we have your calories and your macros down, now we can plug these numbers into a food tracking app like MyFitnessPal, Chronometer, or Macros First. And instead of just going through your day and you're adding your numbers, I suggest you plan out your days 1 to 3 days in advance. That way you're not relying on hope or kind of just winging it. You have a specific plan together, all right? So let's list out your favorite foods. So I'm talking about high quality, nutrient dense foods, by the way. So when it comes to protein, I'm mainly gonna choose eggs, steak, salmon, chicken breast, ground turkey, ground beef, isolated protein. That's mainly gonna be my protein sources. When it comes to carbs, I'm choosing oatmeal, cream of rice, white rice, brown rice, potatoes, sweet potatoes, foods like that. And when it comes to fat, I'm choosing almonds, nuts, cashews, avocado oil, almond butter, all natural peanut butter. So those are gonna be my staples. Those are gonna be the foods I'm going to mainly have. It's gonna be less confusion. It's gonna be super easy, super simple. Yo, cause at the end of the day, that's what's going to be stocked up in my fridge. It's gonna be super simple, easy, straightforward. I know what's there. And what I'm gonna do for you is in the description below, I'm going to leave my food list is the same one that I use and my clients use, and I'm gonna give it to you for free. It's at the bottom. There's gonna be a link. Go ahead and grab it, all right? Yo, now let's go over some mistakes that you should avoid, because there's some common ones that it ain't good. Yo, there is a good amount of them, so I'm gonna try to make this quick. So first being mindlessly snacking. So what's happening here is maybe you are snacking off of being bored, or it's just pure habit, or maybe you're sad, or whatever it is. We're gonna try our best to not snack, because that can easily increase your calories through the day or week or whatever it is. It's untracked, and you're probably thinking to yourself like, man, why am I not losing weight? Why am I not losing fat? It's possibly all of these little snacks you are having throughout the day that's putting you actually in a surplus. So you gotta find a way to stop snacking. Another mistake is drinking your calories. So like sodas, or maybe you are drinking coffee that has a bunch of milk in it, or whatever it is. Like, you can easily increase your calories while drinking your calories. So what we're gonna do is try to avoid drinking those, or try to at least limit it, okay? So instead of doing a Frappuccino, maybe you're gonna just do a cold brew, or with, you know, some sugar-free syrup in there as well. It's not that bad, it's actually pretty good. And there's, you know, sodas. Instead of drinking a Coke, you're gonna drink a Diet Coke, Diet Sprite, or whatever it is, just go diet. So you're gonna try your best to not drink your calories unless it's isolated protein with water. Another mistake that you wanna avoid is not planning ahead. You gotta plan. You gotta plan, you gotta prep. This is why I say, plan your meals 1 to 2 to 3 days in advance. That way you know exactly what you're gonna have. If you're gonna go to a restaurant, look at the menu beforehand. Know exactly what you're gonna order. Remember, it doesn't have to be the perfect decision, it just has to be the best decision. So plan ahead of time. Make sure that you don't rely on hope, right? Because when it comes to your fat loss goals, we have full control over it. We have full control over what we order, what we eat. You can do this. I believe in you. Do not rely on hope. Plan ahead of time. By the way, when it comes to planning, I have meal plan templates that I'm gonna give you, okay? So in the description below, on top of the food list I'm gonna give you my meal plan template. So with the meal plan template, it's based off of the day that you're gonna have. So you can literally use the exact templates that I personally use and my clients use. So it will be in the description below. Feel free to grab it, it's all yours. So another mistake that you wanna avoid is overestimating how many calories you burn on this little thing right here, this watch or the cardio machine that you're on. We don't wanna rely on those, okay? Because at the end of the day, those things can be off. So instead of relying on how many calories you burn during a workout, just focus on getting stronger. Just focus on your form. That's gonna be way more helpful for you in the long run, okay? So do not go off of how many calories you burn on this watch, okay? Another thing that you don't wanna do is rely on willpower too much. Because at the end of the day, when it comes to willpower, you know, that eventually wears out. And we don't wanna rely on willpower too much. So instead of relying on willpower, what we're gonna do is set ourselves up for success in the long run. So we're gonna focus on routine, and we're gonna focus on our habits. If you could get those two things down, you're going to see results now, and you're gonna see results in the long term, and it's gonna feel a lot easier on you. All right, today it's Friday, all right? And this is when people usually just let loose. Friday to Saturday to Sunday, it's a free-for-all. There's no structure, there's no plan. So instead of going on weekend mode, what I want you to do is start planning your weekends out. Have some structure. Just because it's a weekend doesn't mean that you can go crazy. Let's be real, okay? That could be a big reason why you're not seeing results right now, is because you have no control over Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I'm not saying don't be flexible. Please be flexible. Have some balance. Go out to eat. Do your thing. But at the end of the day, you have to have some structure. You have to have some knowledge. You have to have some habits and some routines in place during the weekend, so that way you can stay on track and not feel like you mess everything up. So have a plan on the weekends, you know, still be detailed, but again, you can be flexible, just be detailed, okay? So don't just go crazy on the weekends. That could totally throw you off when it comes to your fat loss goals. But again, I'm not saying don't enjoy life, don't have balance, because those things are important. That's how you create sustainability. That's how you're able to enjoy life. But again, have some structure, okay? So there's that, because weekends are, man, weekends throw a bunch of people off, and I don't want that for you. Like, have some structure. All right, now that we know what our calories are, what our macros are, we know some common mistakes that we need to avoid when we're going through this fat loss journey. I would suggest you don't stay in a fat loss phase for too long, okay? Because you'll eventually burn out, okay? So I would do, you know, stay in this phase for about 12 weeks max, maybe 16 if you're feeling confident. But again, I don't believe you should stay here for too long, okay? Because it's gonna get tiring, and I want you to be able to do this in the long run. So after 12 weeks, maybe take a break, go to maintenance, and then if you feel like you need to lose a little bit more fat, go back to the fat loss phase. But what I wanted to do was show you an example of my calories, all right? So my calories are here. I'm gonna set it up right here, and then I'm gonna show you my meal plan. So this is the meals that I'm gonna have. So I do about 5 meals a day. Here's exactly what I do. Okay, so this is kind of my structure. This is what works best for me. And again, remember, what I'm gonna do is in the description below, there's gonna be a meal plan template for you. Please use it, all right? So as long as you know your calories and your macros, which you do now, like, it should be totally easy for you to just do a plug and play, and it should be super helpful. And again, there's a food list in there as well, all right? So hopefully you found this video helpful. If you need anything, just comment below, I got you. Please like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.